Welcome everyone. This is the third weekly healing meditation that I'm bringing to you, whether you're on Instagram or on YouTube or you find it via Facebook. I'm pleased to be again connecting with you, for this is all about a time of connection, and so this is one way that we can connect with each other no matter where we are in the world, whether you're on the other side of the world or just in the same city as I am, coming from Sydney, Australia. So this week the crystal that we're going to be working with is this clear quartz Elestial. And now this is a very, very special piece for me. And before I just explain why it's such a special piece, I want to talk about how this relates to the angel message of the week. So the angel message of the week that are channeled from the Keepers of the Keys. So it's the group of 12 healing angels from the Libraries of Light that I'm connected with. They brought through a message that is about awakening. And what does it mean to awaken? And there can be a couple of different meanings, but let's talk about spiritual and psychological awakening. And when we awaken into who we really are, this is really what the journey is all about. And whether you come from the awakening process or the healing journey from a psychological perspective or a spiritual one, the end goal is the same. Now, that is to connect to our true selves and to be our true selves, express our true selves, our authenticity. And we've seen this theme before already, but we are coming into a time where we are awakening more into that, what our true self is. So they are saying that this week we are really coming and receiving a lot more light, and that's been ongoing for a while now. And when we receive more light into our bodies, it's about a process of releasing all that is not light and all that is not love, so that we can hold more light into our bodies and return to the love that we are. So it's all about the embodiment of our spirituality, the embodiment of the light and the love that we are. Now, when it comes to the shadow self and what that means, it's not about trying to hide away from the shadow self or deny the shadow self or keep it in check or control it in any way. Shadow self is a part of who we are, and this is the part of ourselves that we perhaps have rejected, we've perhaps been unaware of, so we can be quite unconscious of the shadow self. Or even as we start to awaken through the awakening journey and the spiritual healing journey, we can become more aware of this part of ourselves, these aspects of ourselves. Now, the difficulty is in not rejecting these parts of ourselves, and in fact allowing them to come back into the light and to embrace them, to even love them, so that we can integrate with them. And that is really what the healing journey is all about. So when we look at this process and then we look at this crystal and why it's coming through, like I said, it has a really personal meaning, but I'll explain a little bit what does Elestial mean for those who are unfamiliar with the term. So Elestial Quartz can refer to the way to how it's grown, and often Elestial quartz or crystals grow much faster, and so they then have different patterns of growth, and there can be different types of Elestial quartz. They can also be called an awakening stone, and then this is certainly relevant given that the Keepers are talking about awakening in this week and this week's message. Now, this particular crystal has a very angelic presence, certainly a very angelic energy. And while it does not have technically a cathedral formation, because it doesn't have a main central point, however, it does have very much an energy of a library. Now, cathedral may be the more technical term, library more an energetic term to explain that it can connect to the Libraries of Light, so the Akashic records. And when it comes to this piece, and while of course it is clear quartz, just like other forms of clear quartz, it brings through the energy of clear quartz being the master healer. So Clear quartz is a master healer, but now this is considered a master crystal given its celestial formation. So it does have some inclusions, and I would be lying to say, to pretend to say that I knew what they are. But anyway, there are some inclusions in this piece. It comes from Brazil, and I've had it for a few years. And the reason why it has personal meaning to me is a couple. It lives on my desk. It's one of the core pieces that I work with, and it is a piece that I've been using ever since I started doing energy work. And the reason being is that when I first, and there's a whole story behind me purchasing this piece as well, but from when I first started meditating with this piece, it is when I could feel that I can feel all the crystals that I had in my house all at the same time. So I could feel it as a collective energy. So whether it was in harmony or it was disharmonious, it wasn't balanced. And so it was really this piece that helped me to awaken to moving energy through crystals. Feeling the energy through crystals as a collective is why I can put grids together so that it brings a collective energy through. And because of this capacity, what I feel energetically to be able to connect to the libraries of light, it really helps us to, or it helps me to connect with the heavens, with the divine, with the angels, but also with the Akashic records and the libraries of light. Now, and this is before I ever learned how to open Akashic records. I was able to tap into the energy of them through the crystalline grids because of this crystal. And so it's been a process for me now to be able to do what I am doing now. And so whenever I am working with a person, doing an individual session, and we're doing we've got a crystal grid, then I still work with this piece, and I have jokingly in the past called it my control panel, because it used to, you can see it both ways. My fingers kind of perfectly fit in through the grooves, and I felt like I was able to control the energy of what is coming through the crystal grid. So while it's a bit of a humorous term, it's not accurate, but it was just my sort of pet name for this piece. But and this piece coming through, it means that we are connecting to the light of the heavens, and we are working through the awakening process in some way. So while I don't know exactly what will come through in terms of the healing meditation for us, I'm really keen to see what will occur in bringing through this piece, because this piece will never be on someone's crystal grid, because it is one of the, as I said, the core pieces that I'm working with and how I do some of the energy work that I'm doing. So while I'm still working with my Mauryan Smoky, this is a cathedral library. This is I work with for the channeling with the Keepers of the Keys. I'll be bringing through this energy for you today. So I won't be working in with connecting to a grid, but in sharing, connecting to the divine consciousness of this crystal and sending its energy to you so that you may receive it in the way you need to receive it for your awakening process. So what I'll say is to remind you that we're going to call in only what you're ready for and what is in your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. To remind you that you may need to, and I would recommend that you drink lots of water afterwards, and to remind you to ground afterwards, to not listen to this meditation while you're driving or operating heavy machinery. And it may help you to reorientate to the room that you're in, the space that you're in, and to your senses. So what you see, taste, touch, smell, so that you can return to the physical body. Another wonderful way is just going outside and going to nature and literally grounding, or sitting on the earth, having your bare feet on the earth or on the sand in the ocean. So given that this week is all about how we embody the light and connect to our true selves, then we're going to see what the keepers say about that. And I know that there's much that I can say about that, but I don't want to ramble on. I want you to be able to connect into your experience of what that is. So as a brief description of this, and I've said this before, but it's my favorite way of describing how do we connect to the true self. It is a process of letting go of all that we are not. And it is, for me, what depicts it is the quote from Michelangelo. And it is what he says, that he saw the angel within the marble and carved until he set him free. And so we are connecting to the angel within, and that is your true self. And so when we are able to do that, we can release all that we have released all that is not love and all that is not light. And so I hope that you can really feel the benefit of this meditation. So I will call in the keepers. Welcome, dear ones. We are connecting through Vicky's body, and we are pleased that you are all here. So let us say, while all of this is true, we want to say a final piece about all of this before we move into the meditation. We want to say that your true nature is love. And when you connect with your true self, it is the part of you that is unharmed by trauma, by any of your experiences. It is the core of who you are. It is the part of you that is connected to the light, that is the light. And so your true self is part of the oneness that is the divine, for it is a part of the divine. It is the divine spark that you are. And so while you are receiving more and more light into your bodies, that is true, what we are also saying is it is a process of remembrance that you are the light of the divine and are inseparable from this light, for it is the light expressing itself as you in your individual bodies. And this is what the embodied spirituality is all about. So while you have the capacity to individually express as yourselves, it is the divine expressing itself through you. And the divine is light and the divine is love. And so therefore, this is what you are, and this is what you have come to remember here in your physical bodies. And we are pleased to remind you of this experience. So let us begin the meditation. And so we call in the higher selves of all people who will come to this meditation in the eternal moment of now, across time and space, so that you may receive what is in your best and highest good, only that which you are ready for. And know that may change and evolve over time, dear ones. And so now we connect with Vicky's higher self, Araya, and Arya, her divine collective, as we gather the symphony of light. And we connect with the councils of light, Melchizedek and the order of Melchizedek, the archangels and the angelic realms, and the Christed beings of light. And we connect with the divine consciousness of this crystal, and we bring her energy to you and through you to fill you, encompass and envelop you as much as you're ready to receive according to your highest good. And so we connect with Father, Mother, God, the great central sun, and the great white rose, to bring through the light of the heavens, to come to you and through the temple blue volcano, through your bodies, into the earth and the crystalline grids. And through the crystalline grids, into the crystalline core and heart of Gaia, so you may receive this light now flowing through your multidimensional DNA as we open the libraries of light through your light bodies, through your cells, helping your bodies to receive this light and to integrate this light, supporting your bodies to release with ease and with grace all that is not light and all that is not love. Connecting through even your ancestral lines, again through your multidimensional DNA, and through the epigenetics of all that has been passed on to you, stories, patterns, beliefs, all that keeps you from who you really are. And we invite in the violet flame with Saint Germain to support in this release and this transmutation through your ancestral line. To release these old stories, these old beliefs, these mental, emotional, and behavioral patterns. These cellular memories and energetic imprints that keeps you from being an integrated self and expressing as who you really are, as your true self. This is now going through the layers of your mind and the layers of your body, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And in clearing, we clear, release, shift, and transmute across all time, space, realities, and dimensions, shifting interdimensionally, purifying and alchemizing to the highest vibration. And so we connect with the emerald ray of light, Archangel Raphael, to bring healing into your bodies, to all the areas where you've released, in all areas that require healing to support you to move into your true self. And now we support you to connect to the divine within you, the higher realms that you may access within you by opening your hearts and receiving transmission from within your very bodies. And so while you may reach to the heavens, you may still be rooted in the earth and connected to your bodies. And so we bring through the diamond white light to bring all to clarity and to purity. So you may connect to the angel within. The angel that is you. The angel that is your true self. For even if you do not connect with the term angels or the angelic self, know that this may be a response to protect you from the fear of not being worthy enough to connect to the higher realms. Bring through the energy of the divine consciousness of this crystal. What some may call the crystal diva, the crystal spirits, or the crystal angels. It is all part of the divine. And so you understand and connect with the crystals as a conduit to connecting to the divine. And so we honor this crystal and her divine consciousness. We honor you and your angel within. And we honor the all, the love that permeates through all, and the light that is the all. May you come into remembrance for you and of who you really are. And so it is. I hope you enjoyed that meditation, dear ones. Connect back into your bodies. Do what you need to do to integrate and to ground. Drink lots of water. And I look forward to connecting with you again very, very soon. Much love.